ready to start the
I'll
voice recorder?
start mine.
1, 2, and 3. Boom.
Boom.
Here we are. Welcome, everybody. This is the bonus episode MMA show. We're going to talk about the upcoming UFC events and everything about that. And I'd say we're pretty excited. How about you?
Oh yeah, it feels like it's been a couple years since the last UFC event or MMA event in general.
We can finally get back to toxic masculinity, so...
Finally.
We will start with 249, obviously, because it's the closest.
Yeah.
On the early prelims, we have Ryan Spann versus Sam Alvey.
That's on the early prelims? Really?
Yeah,
Yeah, indeed it is. I always forget. I just keep forgetting this card is nuts. That's an incredible fight. But I don't know anything about Ryan Spann. I know Sam Alvey has had bad fucking luck with the with the judges' decisions in the last few of his fights, and people have coined the term "scowling Sam Alvey" instead of "smiling Sam" because he was very adamant about how he disagreed with it while he was there. So,
oh yeah,
hopefully he has a better run tanaght.
I don't know much about either of those guys.
Jesus. Yeah, I don't know anything about Spann. I like Sam Alvey. Alvey. I always say Alvey.
It's Al. A-L-V-E-Y.
Sam was supposed to fight Khalil Rountree, our favorite fucking Muay Thai stylist in the light heavyweight division.
Was that ever official?
Yeah, I do believe they were set to go. Khalil made an announcement on his, I think, Twitter and his Instagram about how win, lose, or draw, that was going to be his last fight in the UFC. So it was very interesting when it came about because the fight was announced. I do believe it was set, and then he said it was going to be his last fight, and then that fight got called off. So I don't know what Khalil's plan is now.
Yeah, I mean, your guess is as good as mine.
I know he's having a lot of fun living in Thailand and practicing Muay Thai, and he's training a lot of dudes. He appeared ringside for a couple of, I think, Absolute Muay Thai events.
Yeah,
for some people on his team. It's incredible. He just found his calling.
His last fight was Eric Anders, wasn't it?
No, because he whipped the piss out of Eric Anders. He had another one.
He got beat like bad, didn't he?
Yeah, because he was. I was real excited, and then I was like, he's gonna win, and then Ion Kudabala.
Yeah.
Yeah, we watched Ion do the rope-a-dope pretending to be hurt very recently in his fight, and then the ref called it off. If you remember, it was a weird controversial stoppage.
That was one of the worst calls I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, I hated it. I was so pumped for that fight. And then I was really thinking it was going to be like a dark horse fight for the card that night. I thought it was going to really show off before a lot of the expected big fights were going to happen, and then it just got called early. It was crazy. And then before that was the Eric Anders fight for Khalil.
Yeah. And moving on from that fight, still in the early prelims, is Bryce Mitchell versus Charles Rosa.
Yeah.
Two fairly new guys, I believe.
Yeah, I think...
Bryce Mitchell, just his last fight, he got the Twister submission.
That's right. He's that country kid, isn't he?
He's that country kid from Arkansas.
Yeah, that's crazy. What was that? One of the only two twisters that happened in UFC history?
Mm-hmm.
Something along that line. Something crazy. It's just a submission nobody hits in the sport. Yeah, he has 2 wins in the UFC. It looks.
He's 12-0. Charles Rosa is 12-3.
It's a good enough fight. Hell of a grappling match if Bryce does what he's been doing.
I assume it's going to be grappling.
After that, though, you got Vincent LeCue and Nico Price. How do you feel about that one?
I'm going to take Vincent.
Yeah, I don't know who I got in that. That's pretty intense. Both those guys are fucking killers.
Yeah, Vincent, he's tough as fuck.
Yeah.
But that last fight with Steven Wonderboy was, I think it was fight of the night too. These just fucking 3 rounds of just beating the shit out of each other. I think Wonderboy put it to him that fight, but he didn't fucking quit one
Still a
bit.
good fight. Yeah.
And then before that, he fucking beat Mike Perry.
Yeah. He smashed his fucking
Destroyed his nose.
Right?
Gave him facial reconstruction.
A couple months before fucking Perry's wedding.
Yeah.
If you didn't know, there's craziness. But yeah, Nico Price isn't a pushover either.
No. He's gotten knockouts from his back.
Off his back, yeah. It's 2 KOs from his back. It's ridiculous. Shit never happens. I'm gonna like that fight either way. It's 2 incredibly painful hitters. But that's it for the early prelims.
That's gonna be a good one.
Oh yeah, they're all gonna be good ones, especially coming back like this. Moving on.
Next is the prelims.
Yeah.
First bout is middleweight Uriah Hall versus Rolando Souza or
Ronaldo.
Jacare. Did I not
Or
say Ronaldo?
I
said Rolando.
That's a really good one too.
It's like the same thing.
Yeah.
Ronaldo.
I'm surprised Ronaldo had that quick run at light heavyweight and it didn't work out.
One fight.
Yeah, one fight against Jan Blachowicz.
That a lot of people said he won.
Yeah, right. And back to middleweight. It's an incredible cut for him. He's a jacked up guy. He's like a barely shorter, fucking Yoel Romero. Excuse me.
I didn't know where you were going with that.
He's incredibly jacked. I don't think he's a young guy either. Pretty sure he's getting up there in his age.
Yeah, most likely.
He is. Yeah, he's 40 years old as well. In pretty good shape, pretty good fighting condition. All things considered.
Yeah, it's because he's Brazilian.
Yeah, they have like weird.
They fight until they die.
Right? Yeah. The minute you start becoming out of shape, you just get killed in the street. Uriah Hall, terrific striker.
You got Uriah?
I don't know. I like Jacare a lot. Yeah, it's always. I do have Uriah pretty much on the feet the entire time, and Uriah isn't a pushover with his ground game. Where Jacare's best chance would probably be on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So if he can't make it there, then I got Uriah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I assume Uriah is going to try and keep that fight standing as long as he can.
That's what I mean. I think Uriah will be able to push off most of the grappling. They might go to the ground for a round.
I don't know how Uriah's ground game is.
It's decent enough. He's not a known grappler, you know.
Yeah.
But he's good enough, and he's well versed in it enough. I'm excited for that fight. At least not compared to somebody like Souza. He's not a grappler. But I think he'll be able to keep it away from the ground game. They might finish around on the ground. They might stall out at some point, but I think he'll keep it off the ground for the most part and then just outstrike him.
Yeah, I'll take Uriah by TKO.
Okay. I got him by decision.
Think he's going to go 3 rounds?
Yeah, I think that he'll be hitting them, and Ronaldo will be tough about it, and he'll be trying to stick to his game plan and go into the ground, and Uriah will fight it off, and eventually it'll just go to Uriah for decision. It might not, though. The thing about when I choose decisions, if I'm wrong, it's always a good thing, because that means somebody did their job incredibly right and finishing somebody else, you know?
We're almost always wrong anyway.
That's true, yeah. We make some of the worst calls of all time.
And even when we get it right, we didn't think we got it right by the end of the fight most of the time.
Yeah, right. After that, we got Michelle Watterson and Carla Esparza.
I don't know much about Esparza.
We've seen her fight a couple of times before, but nothing that caught our attention. We've seen Watterson in a few fights. We like Watterson. We like the press that she does. We like the way that she talks in interviews and post-fight octagon things. And I don't know if you've seen her. She does fun open workouts.
Yeah,
Have
yeah.
you
I've
seen
seen
the one where
those.
she tries
Yes.
to throw the kick over? Yeah, the guy.
That's like her husband, I believe.
Yeah, yeah. Those are always real fun. She's good in front of the camera. She's a pretty good fighter too.
Yeah. I got hurt by decision.
Yeah, me too. Watterson by decision.
Where does she
Uh,
go after that?
it's hard to say. She just lost against Joanna,
Did she
right?
get another number one contenders fight? Or does she
I'd have to
go
look over the division rankings
for the
real
title?
quick. Not the title. I can say that right away. I
Who
don't
else
think
is
the
there?
title. I'm certain she doesn't go for the title. I could be wrong.
Because there's Rose and Andrade, but that got canceled again, so
Yeah.
those are the only other two that I can think of.
Hmm.
What if she fights Joanna again? Which I don't think that would happen.
Yeah. After that is Werdum versus Olenek. However you say his name, Olenek.
Olenek.
Olenek?
Yes.
Okay. Alexei Olenek and Fabricio Werdum. That's two old, pretty good grapplers going at it.
Pretty good?
Two old master level grapplers, at least for the heavyweight division, going at it. Fabricio Werdum is in like top
easily
tier
the best
grappler.
heavyweight jiu-jitsu guy ever.
Yeah, it's incredible. If you, I don't know if you've ever had the time, but if you see Werdum's fight with Volkov, he was grappling the shit out of Volkov, but Volkov is fucking like built like a tree, like fucking Groot. So Volkov was able to just use his size and put Fabricio in guard and just hold him away from his head like that because he's so fucking long.
Mm-hmm.
It's like how a bunch of the fight went. It just disabled him. It was crazy. Olenek has, I think they call it an Ezekiel choke.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
He can do it from bottom.
He's not getting that on Werdum.
Maybe not. Probably
no
not.
way.
Most likely not. But Olenek is no pushover for the grappling game. Who did he just fight recently? We watched him fight Maurice Green.
Yeah, I think it was got him with the Ezekiel too.
And just evaporated him with his grappling game. He just has intense grappling and wrestling, particularly. He always finds a way to get really dominant position, and if he doesn't, he has submissions anyway. He's always shown before. So I think it'll pose an interesting match for Fabricio Werdum. That's 3 rounds, right? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, 3 rounds.
I just can't see it not going the distance, though.
I think it's either decision or Werdum submits Olenek.
Yeah, I can't see Olenek submitting Werdum, but I think it's absolutely going the distance. I think they'll go all 3 rounds, and Werdum will probably have close submissions that'll count in the judge's eyes, and he'll take the rounds, and it'll be Fabricio by decision. I think they're just gonna try to out-grapple each other the whole time, and Fabricio will always get closer with the submissions, but not quite.
What is that? Where does Fabricio go after that?
That's a good question because it's the heavyweight division is always fucking logjam nowadays. It seems so.
It's a mess.
It's a mess.
And we'll get into that on the main card because.
Yeah, right.
After that, we have at welterweight Anthony Pettis and Cowboy Donald Cerrone.
That's an interesting one.
2.
If you want to gush. Huh?
Pettis, Cowboy 2.
Yeah,
rematch.
2. You
say if I want to gush?
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
Because Anthony Pettis, you were the one to tell me that Anthony Pettis did knock out Cerrone before, right?
Didn't knock him out, no. Body kick.
He didn't knock him out. Oh, yeah, body kick. Okay. Is that what you think's going to happen this time?
I have no idea. I think Pettis is going to win.
Okay.
I don't know if he's going to win by body kick. But Pettis was saying that this is the best camp he's ever had because it's just him and his coaches.
Okay.
He said he's never had one-on-one before like this. So, and then he's like, "Shit, I'm gonna do all my camps like this from now on." It's a good sign. You could
Yeah,
light
it
the
is,
fire
yeah.
back into him.
Right. That's good. Cerrone is a master level kickboxer.
Yeah.
At least he has all the marks of one. He's incredibly high level kickboxing, so his striking game will be intense. But so was Stephen Thompson's against Pettis, and Pettis found a way to put him away. So
Yeah,
it's very
amazingly,
yeah.
might I
But
add.
people have been writing Pettis off for this fight. They're calling both of these guys has-beens, which is insane.
They write Pettis off almost every fight he has.
That's a super good point. Yeah, I have yet to see people saying Anthony Pettis takes an easy win.
He's lost like the last, I think, 3 or 2 fights, and they're like, oh, he's washed up. He's not washed up.
We'll have to see. I think he.
Well, no matter who loses, someone's gonna say that loser is washed up.
That's true.
Like, oh, like
community is fickle.
Pettis couldn't even beat an old broken cowboy.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
I don't know what training Cowboys had since McGregor fight. I don't particularly like seeing him in here right now.
Yeah, you think he's
against someone who is known for spectacular knockouts like Pettis?
Yeah.
It's scary. I don't want to see him get his fucking head exploded on the canvas.
That's why just backing up just a bit. I agree. That's why watching Werdum and Olenek. I don't know how, because those aren't exactly. It was rough watching like an older Kane get hit by Ngannou, and we'll talk about him later. Just because it's hard to watch older fighters get hit in the head like that. It's a rough time. It makes me feel bad.
Yeah, it's.
You know that's damaging to him. But yeah. And in the Werdum and Olenek fight, they're not going to be taking big bomb shots at each other. I don't think, unless we get real surprised. It's going to be a grappling match for the most part, and that'll be better for their heads and their health.
Yeah, I mean, one of them's gonna have to go up in the rankings after this anyway, so.
Right.
Have to face a heavy hitter after that fight.
Speaking of the heavyweight division, the next one on the main card, the bottom of the main, is Greg Hardy and Yorgan De Castro.
I got Castro.
Yeah? Yeah, he got him?
I voted for Hardy. I voted against Hardy every fight, but...
Yeah.
I'm sure this time.
Yeah?
No, I'm not sure at all. I've only seen Castro once, and he knocked out Tafa.
Tafa, another heavyweight that we like.
Who just got a good win his last fight, too. I don't remember against
Did he?
who. No, it was against Juan Adams. Yeah. Knocked out.
Yeah, right, that's
Juan.
right, yeah.
Yep.
Juan Adams, a fighter that I very much like, who just recently signed with Aries Fighting Championship. A German-based MMA company, I do believe.
It's German?
It's European-based. It's what?
I didn't know it was European. Or anything.
It's what?
I didn't
What
know
did
it
you
was,
say?
I didn't know it was European or German.
Okay, I do believe it's German. I know it's European-based. Will Brooks also signed with them. Not to get too sidetracked, Will Brooks is an amazing fighter. Not important.
But Hardy Castro, what do you think?
I don't know. Greg Hardy has good enough hands. He has good enough boxing. A lot of people write him off. He had a fight with somebody, and I think they called him Fat Theo Vaughn or something. But this dude has balls to the wall going forward, and Greg Hardy disabled him for like 3 rounds from really landing big bombs. That might have been the fight where he used.
Is it the fight he used the inhaler?
Yeah, I think it was. So the other guy was getting pretty fucking tired the whole fight, and people obviously said Greg Hardy's a cheater, and that launched into controversy. So Greg Hardy has good enough hands at that level. It just depends if Yorgan De Castro can really get off on the big shots.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how much his hands work technically when he's close, when he's inside real close when he's fighting in a phone booth with somebody. But as far as I've seen, it looks like Greg Hardy's better at that, and Jorgen would want to stand a little further away and try to drop bombs.
Well, Jorgen hit Tafa with one shot and put him out.
Oh yeah, exactly. So that's should be it from my perspective his game plan. That's what he should stick with, and that's what I think he'll do. But I don't know. I couldn't predict a round or anything. I haven't seen enough of Castro. But I've seen enough of Greg Hardy disabling fighters that come in with heavy hands from long range. So I don't think it's going to be a very quick fight. It might go into the second round. But I think Hardy will eventually slip up and get caught. So second or third round, TKO or knockout.
So you going Castro?
Yeah.
So I didn't expect you to go Castro.
Really?
I thought you were going to fucking bounce on Greg Hardy's dick.
Oh, yeah? You think I'm a big Greg Hardy supporter?
Sometimes.
Yeah? Like when?
You hype him up.
I hype him up because he did shit that I wasn't expecting. I hype him up because I don't want to become the guy who says that I don't like him, so therefore he's bad as a fighter. And then he goes on to beat Juan Adams, and he goes on to lose by decision against somebody like Alexander Volkov. I think there's a level of immaturity when you just try to write off a fighter because you don't like him. I don't like him, and in most cases I hope he loses, but Juan Adams went in there with a game plan, and it didn't work almost immediately because he wrote Greg Hardy off as a fighter. I don't want Jorgen De Castro to think that he has heavy hands, come in and cleanly knock out Greg Hardy, and then all of a sudden it doesn't work and everybody looks stupid again. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
I want to come in with a level of caution, and hopefully because of that, and we see Greg Hardy's strengths, we can outplay him and beat him. I don't know why it becomes a we thing, but that's just how it feels sometimes. We talked about Jorgen De Castro. I saw a quick little article about how people from where he lives, which is a small island nation in Africa, like off of Africa, how he's become a little bit of a hometown hero. People are hyping him up. They're excited for his UFC fighting. I think that's awesome.
That's great.
Important in your community. I think that's awesome.
It's real heartfelt. I don't know what to say about that. And then we move on to featherweight. This is the main card, by the way, if we haven't said that yet.
We did.
Okay. Now I feel like an idiot.
All good.
We have featherweight, Jeremy Stevens versus Calvin fucking Kattar.
Stevens is good, man.
That's gonna be a violent fucking fight.
It's gonna be fun, yeah. I really don't have too much to say about that one either.
I'll pick Stevens.
Yeah.
I think Calvin Kattar's better in a 5-round fight.
Yeah.
I think if it was 5 rounds, I'd probably go Kattar.
Okay. That's interesting. I probably have Stevens too. I like him as a fighter. I don't know as much about Kattar, but I know he's incredibly dangerous and that both of these guys like to be in a war when they fight. So, like you said, it's going to be incredibly violent.
Mm-hmm.
We're really going to be digging at each other. So, yeah, that's going to be a fun one. It should be.
It's like a fan fight. It's like
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be an old school just bleed kind of fight.
till someone goes limp.
Yeah.
Or we get doctor stoppages by cuts.
That's true. Doctor stoppages.
Is that even going to be a thing? I know
I'm
they have.
sure.
I know they
I'm
have like.
absolutely sure.
There's going to be a ringside physician, but
Absolutely, yeah. They'd have doctor stoppages. I don't think that would stop at all, just because there's no crowd.
well, I mean that wasn't meaning like just because there's no crowd, they're not going to have a physician. But I mean they have to be social distancing thing. The doctor even going to get in there with them?
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be provided with masks and gloves. The entire staff was. I saw
Mm-hmm.
a real quick list rundown of all the things. The commentators are going to be at separate tables, and all the staff and camera crew, everybody working, is going to have masks and gloves. Not that that's foolproof, but some layer of protection.
And everybody's getting tested.
Yeah.
Those are all good things.
Yeah.
Good things to
I
make
think so.
this happen.
Yeah, following the rules, and we get fights because of it.
And then,
Really, sorry, go on.
no, continue.
I was gonna say, real big salute to the UFC, by the way, for the entire time everything was shutting down. They've really been working day and night to try to be the one to bring the fights back,
Hmm.
even through all this. And they're first to the stage, it seems. So they worked diligently ever since everything was shutting down to keep the fights going. So big salute to them. I don't think people are appreciating that the way they should. Because they could
No.
easily fucking call it quits and wait for a long time.
Yeah.
Well, the
What's
hard
point
thing
in
is
that?
exactly, the hard thing is to dig deep and try to get fights to happen, and here we are. He 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 he. Tee hee tee hee hee.
And then next, the one I'm very excited for,
Oh yeah,
heavyweight
well.
Francis Ngannou versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik.
It's incredible. I'm terrified that it would become another Lewis versus Ngannou, but I doubt either of them have the mindset to let that happen, especially not Rozenstruik. I know that for you it might be especially not Francis, but Rozenstruik is he loves this shit. He's dug real deep into being the younger hungry lion that likes to come in and take dudes out. We saw it for the whole time in the Alistair Overeem fight that Alistair was winning, by the way. But Jerry Zeno Rozenstruik was just eating big hands from Alistair the whole fight,
Yeah.
and he's just loving it. He's just taking it on the chin and just like doesn't fucking hurt. And they were bombs too. It wasn't like
Yeah, but Overeem bombs aren't the same as
that's true.
Ngannou
They
bombs.
super aren't. Not as the way. No. Exactly. That's what we were talking about a few months ago too. Is that if he wants to take hits on the chin against Ngannou the way he did it against Overeem, it's not going to work. It's a different thing. It can't even be compared. Yeah, if you would like to throw your prediction out there. I'm talking a lot.
I got Francis
Mhm.
by
Me too.
knockout.
Yeah,
No doubt about it.
same. I think he's more
I
nuanced striking.
believe this should be an interim championship fight.
I do too.
I've been bitching on Twitter about this for quite some time that Francis
Yeah.
hasn't got a title shot again.
He's earned a title shot like 3 times over now. It's incredible. He lost to Stipe, and then he's just been on a tear.
He lost to Lewis, which should have been a draw, but
That one doesn't even fucking count, bro.
yeah, I don't count that one. And after that, he's killed everybody.
He's killed everybody.
He retired Cain Velasquez.
And in a division where you can be a flashy knockout artist and jump quick, and
Yeah.
he hasn't dropped below top 5 yet since his fucking loss.
Ngannou? No.
Yeah, and he's just been killing everybody that comes in, except for of course Volkov, who I still want to see that fight, but I still think Ngannou's been first in line for a title shot for forever. But like
Yeah.
we said before, the division has a tendency to stay log jammed nowadays.
Well, especially now.
Yeah, and now that Stipe might be coming back, well,
Yeah,
I mean,
but-
obviously he's coming back. I mean, the DC versus Stipe fight 3, their trilogy might be coming up.
It's fucking pointless.
Yeah,
And it
you
makes-
think it's
yeah,
pointless?
because if DC wins, he retires, he vacates the belt. It's going to be fucking Ngannou versus Stipe again anyway.
Well, maybe that's the way we get it. I mean, if that's the timeline.
But Stipe even came out and said that he's not going to fight anybody he's already fought.
Yeah, I
I
think at some point that might not be up to him anymore.
strip him.
Not with Ngannou destroying people and staying in the top 5 and just not getting a title shot whatsoever.
He's been 2.
He's been what?
He's been ranked number 2.
Yeah, he's just stayed solidly there. It's incredible how quickly Jerry Zeno Rozenstruik was able to climb the rankings
Yeah.
with his impressive fights, his impressive wins, but then how Francis Ngannou has more of those impressive wins recently within the same frame of time at the very top of the division, but still doesn't have his chance at the title.
Yeah.
Remember how quickly Israel Adesanya rose and got
Mhm.
to the title chance? It's just crazy. Francis had his rematch with Curtis Blades. I was all on Curtis Blades' dick over that. I expected Curtis to take him down and win that fight handily, and boy, did that not happen. Francis has incredibly shown his competency in that division, and it is kind of a crime that he hasn't gotten his chance at the belt again.
It's a major crime.
Here's my only counter to that. Do you think that Jairzinho Rozenstruik should be counted as a dude fighting for the interim? Because it seems real early in his career to be considering him a worthy opponent for an interim title position. Not when there's so many other good fighters in that division to do that with.
But have they beat Francis? Who else would you put in there against the interim title against Francis and Ngannou? You put Curtis Blades for a third rematch, even though Ngannou just beat him?
No, more time for that trilogy if it ever does happen. Which, I mean, if they continue on the careers that they have been, I absolutely 100% see Ngannou versus Blades 3. It's incredibly...
There's no one in that top 10 that you can put against Ngannou for interim championship.
What's
other
Alexander
than
Volkov been doing?
Well, he wouldn't be able to do it anyway. He's overseas.
That's true, yeah. I just mean in general. Rozenstruik just seems like a bad person to be that interim opponent. Let me see. Let me get a list of the heavyweights.
I don't see anybody else that could make an argument for that position right
That's
now.
true. No, Francis Ngannou is more than worthy. The only problem is that Jairzinho might not be.
I think, well, my opinion is Francis should be fighting for the actual belt.
I agree.
And nothing less, but
fucking log jammed.
Not what we're getting.
And I'm not big on like hating Brock Lesnar, but fuck Brock Lesnar a little bit. I've been waiting for a platform to throw this out on. The dude comes in after the DC Stipe first fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he comes into the octagon. He showed up to the event. He knew what he was going to do the whole time. He planned this out meticulously. Whoever won, he was going to go in there and push him and cause a scene and make it a big performance piece to get everybody talking. So he did that. He pushed DC. DC didn't see it coming. And then they talked a little bit of shit, and then it went back and forth for a while, and then Brock Lesnar came out and said that he just wasn't going to do the fight anyway. And months went by, and the division just waited to see if DC and Lesnar was going to happen. The Lesnar planned out that he was going to come stir the pot, and then just didn't do anything with it. He just basically made everyone
was so fucking stupid. I hated seeing any of that.
Upset. Yeah, I knew it's like, okay, you're selling a fight, but then you didn't fight. Like, come on, you just logjammed the division for no reason, in a division that doesn't deserve to be logjammed right now.
It was dumb. I didn't like that one bit, and then ever since then it's been jammed, no matter what.
Yeah.
I think if Stipe doesn't defend his belt within this year, he should be stripped.
Yeah, a lot of people feel very passionately about that because he's currently working as a first responder firefighter towards the virus in more heavily populated areas. I'm assuming.
Yeah, but he's a fireman.
I know, but I don't know what that.
Am I stupid, or like are they not really that involved in that aspect?
I wouldn't know.
I know they have like EMT people that come on the scenes and stuff, but I mean, are they really that?
Right. I'm not
into
sure. I
it?
have no idea. I just know that's what's been presented to me, and I know people are really passionate about defending it. So I'm sure there's some emergency work that he's been doing, but I wouldn't know unless I was much more hands-on to what he's been working on, which I'm not. So
shout out to them, by the way. I don't mean any disrespect towards first responders.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know what the fuck firemen do when they're not fighting fires.
Right. I know that they do a lot of like emergency work. It doesn't always necessarily need to be fires, but I also am at a loss for the extra amount of work. I mean, he could be I don't know. He could be doing volunteer, passing out food and shit on bread lines. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, could be. Did you pull up that list yet?
Back to the fighting. Yeah, I guess Rozenstruik is the only other person worthy for that interim position. It's insane. But yeah, it's the only reason that it's logjam is because of that too. Is because it's Stipe and DC might get their trilogy fight, and then it also might not even happen. But you know me, I want. Sorry.
I don't want to see it anyway.
You don't want to see the trilogy fight?
No.
No.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Whoever, it doesn't matter if whoever wins. If DC wins, that's cool that he retired on a win, but it's
on a big win. Stipe is a big win.
Yeah, but it's just fucking up the division.
I agree. That's why I wish we could. I'm in agreement. Just get it over with if we're gonna have it happen.
Mm-hmm.
If Stipe wins, that's good. It's sad for DC, but it's the risk he takes as a fighter. If he wins, he gets to ride off into the sunset with a good retirement. Is one of the greatest athletes that have ever been in the sport.
Oh yeah, he would have won that second fight if he stuck to the game plan.
Yeah, it's super unfortunate. And then he could have rode off into the fucking sunset. But now we have to wait. For something that might not even happen again. It just seems like a broken record at this point for the heavyweight division. We're just sitting waiting for a fight that might never happen, but everybody has to wait. After that, bantamweight, Cejudo versus Cruz. That's
the savior of the flyweights.
The savior of the flyweight. That's incredible.
I got Cejudo, but I'm not
really?
100% sure.
Because Cruz was in the game just a little bit before I became incredibly obsessed with MMA and paid attention to it. So when Cruz was coming back for this fight and people were very excited about it, I was like, because he didn't strike me as a very modern fighter. Not like modern fighter, but he didn't strike me as a very like immediate challenger. Because everybody was talking about the bantamweight, and nobody was talking about Cruz really for a while until this fight happened, and now people seemed hyped. So that's intense. But I really like Henry Cejudo. I like Triple C. I like the King of Cringe. I like it all. I like that he shows up with a crown and a fucking cape and 2 belts in his medal. I love it. I love the whole thing.
How could you not like him?
It's so ridiculous. Sorry, go on.
Just going back to like what people say on Twitter and stuff. They're not giving Cejudo the credit for how good he is just because they don't like his cringe shit. He's still one of the best fucking combat athletes ever.
I think most people just don't get that he's obviously playing around to make it a fun thing. People think he legitimately wants to wear a crown and a cape everywhere. And I think those people are incredibly fucking stupid to think that he's very, very serious about a bunch of this shit. He might be serious about a lot. I mean, he was an Olympic athlete. He is Triple C, and I get the sentiment, but some of it is like, if you've seen the videos he makes by his fucking pool and shit, where he's a crowd,
they're great
around him, and it's like, you can't honestly think he's being for real.
I love him. I love when he did the one video where he's talking to Dana White or whatever, and he goes, after his shoulder surgery, he's like, I just had shoulder surgery. I need a tune-up fight.
So
give me Dominic Cruz.
Yeah, nobody calls out Dominic Cruz. It's such a good way to get people stirred up. I just don't think people get that he's like smart and playing around.
No, but they go nuts when McGregor does it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. After that, sorry.
Is it? Are we done with that one?
I guess. I don't know.
All right.
Go ahead.
We'll go to the main event.
It's up to you.
Well, no, we'll go to the main event. That's fine. It's cool.
Go ahead.
You want me to?
Yeah.
Okay. Main event. It's not the fight everybody wanted, but it's the one we're getting. Tony Ferguson, Justin Gaethje. What do you think?
I still think this is an incredible fight. I think that the legacy that brought this fight about tainted it, and it's and how good it's going to be, because people, me included, we really want Khabib and Ferguson.
Yeah.
So we were hyped up about that. But what we got is still really good. But it is lesser. And I think that taints it much more than it needs to for most people. Because it still has that air of like, man, I still wish this was Khabib and Tony. But this is still a real good fight. Like if this was the first fight booked and Khabib wasn't in it, and then that never happened, and this fight just went ahead, people would be incredibly stoked about it. It's a great fight.
Yeah.
But it's just that Khabib and Tony was booked first, and we have no idea what Khabib is going to do because his fasting period is coming up.
Ramadan.
Yeah, and we have to wait beyond that for him to be healthy again.
I think that goes till July or August or something like that.
But Khabib's team, they want to wait a long time for him to be healthy after the fasting again. So we're pretty much guaranteed a long wait before Ferguson, and Ferguson isn't a guy to sit around, so he's going to fight again. So
definitely,
most likely, and it's very interesting. We wanted a fight, and now we're going to have to wait a long time, but this is still a very good fight.
Who do you got?
Whenever I have to pick for a Tony Ferguson fight, I can never do it. But
you got to pick right now.
I'm always wrong. Okay, I think Tony Ferguson.
I got Gaethje.
Just to defend my point, I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to go on long, and I think Gaethje's going to hit Tony with a lot of heavy shots. But I think Gaethje is going to do something that Gaethje does best, and that's stand and trade right in front of him. And he's going to get hit with everything in the kitchen sink while he does it, and eventually that'll wear him down too much. That's what I think will happen.
I got Gaethje knockout round 2.
Really?
Oh yeah.
You seem super confident about this.
I feel confident.
That's good.
Tony likes to get hit.
Yeah,
I can't name another fucking harder hitter other than Gaethje. Maybe Poirier.
In that division,
but that's it. Tony likes to get hit a lot. Gaethje throws fucking bombs.
Yeah, but Gaethje can get hit a lot too.
Tony doesn't throw bombs though.
It's gonna be for the fans. Tony, yeah, but Tony
throws just puts it on you.
He throws slice and elbows. He throws.
Oh, yeah.
He throws suffocating jabs, and he follows them up every time. It's incredible. So that's why I think it's going to be volume. It's going to be what happened to most of his other fighters that Tony's been fighting.
I think if
you think the fight's going, and it's just more and more hits are racking up, and his opponents just get more and more hurt until a finish happens or something.
I think if Gaethje doesn't finish him within midway through round 3, Ferguson wins by decision or TKO.
Okay. I got Ferguson. I'm going to say roughly round 3. I don't think Gaethje goes out in round 2 at all. I think round 3 TKO for Tony, if not decision. I said I think it's going to wear on him.
I think TKO by round 3 though? Just by slicing elbows?
Roughly round 3, yeah. I'm going to say around round 3. It's going to become a lot of pressure. It's going to become a lot of hits very quickly.
Yeah, but Justin's a wrestler too, though.
That's true.
You getting closer, he can take you down.
I could be swayed to round 4. I mean, I don't think it's a big off.
It makes a big difference.
4 TKO.
4 TKO. You sticking with that one?
Round 3 or 4 TKO. That area. If it doesn't happen in round 3 or 4, it might not happen. You never know. I'm gonna say round 3 or 4 TKO for Tony.
I'm sticking with round 2 Gaethje knockout.
Okay. It's gonna be good though.
We're gonna keep track of all these picks that we do, and we're gonna do a little thing to at the end of the year tell you all the events and see who's the biggest fucking idiot.
What if we come out with like an exactly even number?
We're both even.
Yeah,
that'd be sick. We gotta get our my cousin and our friend in on it too, because he pays zero attention to this shit, but he almost calls every card 100% correctly.
It's incredible. The only fights he doesn't call correctly is when we choose like the main event fighter, both of us together, and then he'll choose the opposite one just to be the opposite one. Those are the only fights he'll lose usually. It's incredible.
Yeah, it makes no sense and it pisses me off.
You should start throwing some money down on those picks.
His picks?
It's almost reliable at this point.
I just text him a picture of the picks and be like, tell me which ones you're picking.
Yeah, and then you throw the bets on what he says.
Yeah.
It's not a terrible idea. But with our luck, of course, that's going to be the night he's having an off night.
As soon as I put money on anything, it goes wrong.
Exactly, yeah. Well,
they're doing 3 events within a week.
Yeah, a big salute to him. Real fucking awesome. We can switch right over to that if you want.
Yeah, we will. The next one, May 13th, UFC Fight Night.
Wednesday.
I'm looking at the prelim card, and I don't really see anything in here.
Really? I'm
the
seeing
prelim.
Arlovsky. Yeah. I'm seeing Michael Johnson.
I got Michael Johnson, that one. That's a good one. I don't know anybody else. I know Brian Kelleher.
We've seen Chase Sherman fight, but it's really nobody we would have remembered at this point. I'm pretty sure. Oh, damn. But yeah, Arlovsky's already back into it. Good for him. We saw Chase Sherman get beat by Justin Willis 2018. So that's you would have seen him fight in that one. I know that. Other than that, he has a few lower heavyweight, couple of wins, couple of losses. Nothing too big. He has a win over Rashad Coulter a couple of years ago.
We'll just skip to the main card.
Yeah, okay. I got Arlovsky, I got Johnson.
I got Johnson.
For prelims, yeah.
I don't care for the Arlovsky one. Main card, UFC Fight Night. We got Carl Roberson, Marvin Vettori.
We've seen Carl fight before, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, I do believe I remember him.
I got Roberson. I don't really have much to say about that fight.
Exactly the same thing. I got Roberson. We've seen him win. Yeah. After that is a pretty good fight.
Ricky Simon. Or is it Simon or is it Simon? Simone?
I don't know.
We'll
say Simon.
Mullet Ricky versus Ray Borg.
Mullet Ricky, yeah. Versus Ray Borg. That's an interesting one.
I got money that Ray Borg misses weight.
Oh yeah, you got money that he misses weight. That's a safe enough bet, honestly. Yeah, I don't have much to say about that fight.
I hope he makes weight.
Yeah, so he can stop with his fucking curse of not making weight.
It's like the last 4 fights he hasn't made weight for.
Yeah, at some point you got to change something. Something's got to happen.
Implement a rule. You miss weight 3 times, you move up.
Yeah, that's a good enough rule, I think. It's like you gotta do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just keep letting it happen. Yeah, I don't know who I have as a pick. I know Ricky Simon was on a tear. Mullet Ricky, he had a pretty good run for a while. Wasn't he just stopped by someone recently though?
Yeah, Uriah.
Uriah, okay. That was a.
I'm pretty sure.
Fight for Uriah. I do believe you're correct. Yeah. Just go back.
Yeah, that was his last fight. Uriah Faber.
Indeed it was. Yeah.
Out.
Yeah. He then. Wait. No, and then on December after that, he lost to Rob Font by decision.
Oh yeah, that too. Yep.
Yeah. So he was on a tear before that, I do believe. Yeah, there's one cancel bout in 2018. He beat Montel Jackson and Merab Jisfeb. That's all I'm going to do. And then, yeah, he has one more win in 2019, but then 2 losses. So, interesting enough matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Ricky Simon has he has good enough forward pressure. He likes to come forward on you and fight. Ray Borg has good enough grappling.
We'll see it's going to be a wrestling match?
Yeah. That'd be interesting enough. Who do you think takes it there?
Ray Borg.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
Easy. Well, maybe not easy. But I'll pick Ray Borg 10 times out of 10 on that.
Yeah.
Up next, Alexander Hernandez versus Drew Dober.
Alexander Shitty-Mouth Hernandez.
He's a little bitch. I don't want him to win. I don't.
I don't want him to win either.
And that's all I have to say on that fight.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Next.
Yeah.
Heavyweight. Big Ben Rothwell versus fucking Ovince St. Peru.
Ovince St. Peru chose like the biggest guy in the heavyweight division for his move up.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be permanently heavyweight, do you?
I don't know. I feel like he chose this just because he wanted to fight and he couldn't make 205.
I think this is a one-off thing.
He couldn't make 205 in 3 weeks, so...
Ben Rothwell hasn't exactly been the most dangerous guy in his last few fights.
Well, I mean, if you count him kicking Struve's nuts off.
That's what I was trying to say.
Decimating his nutsack.
That was pretty dangerous, yeah. But as far as, within the rules of the fighting, he hasn't been the most intimidating heavyweight. He swears up and down that he's the next big thing for the heavyweight division. Ben Rothwell has been.
He's been a fighter for like 40 years.
So he swears up and down he's going to really shake up the heavyweight division. I don't see it, but I'm willing to be surprised. I love it when divisions get shaken up like that. I just don't think he's going to be the guy to do it. Ovince St. Peru coming and fighting him was a weird pick. He's huge.
Who?
Ben Rothwell is
St. Peru?
big guy. Ben Rothwell.
St. Peru's not fucking small either, though.
Yeah, small, but for moving up and then picking the biggest guy in the division, that's just a strange choice, I think.
He's not the biggest.
It was more just out of left field, I think. Because it's like, out of all the people in light heavyweight that was going to move up to make a fight at heavyweight, I just didn't see Ovince St. Peru doing it. And sometimes I forget that Ben Rothwell is even in the division still, so even still fighting.
You think he gets some Von Fluke choke?
That would be incredible if he fucking Von Flu's Ben Rothwell. The dude could fucking Von Flu Mount Everest. Like, it's insane.
Yeah. I got St. Peru.
Be really?
Yeah.
You got him by decision or?
Knockout.
Really?
Dude, Ben is so slow.
That's true. He's going to get hit a lot. That's a really good point. I didn't think of it. It's a big dude to be fighting. For, like, I'm sure he's had a lot of, like, gym wars at heavyweight and everything, but I don't believe Ovince St. Peru's ever fought at heavyweight, has he? Professionally?
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah, so that's a pretty big switch up. If anything, I would have Ovince St. Peru unanimous decision, just based on the striking. Like you said, Ben Rothwell is slow. Ovince is just going to be hitting him, but I don't know about a knockout. Maybe. That'd be fun.
I'm
That'd
going
be
knockout.
incredible.
Bet in the house on a knockout. OSP.
Nice.
Or
Okay.
Von Fluke choke. There's only 2 ways OSP wins that fight for me.
That would be terrific if he Von Flu's one of the biggest dudes
If he
in the game.
If he Von Fluke's fucking Ben Rothwell, I'm going to need to change my pants.
Yeah.
Then that's the co-main. Up next, for the main event, Anthony Smith and Glover Teixeira.
Anthony Smith. I got Anthony Smith.
Yeah.
I have almost nothing to say about that fight. Dreading us talking about it. I just really don't. I think Anthony Smith has continued to work on his game. He's good in long rounds, even though he doesn't look like it. I was certain almost the entire time his fight with Gustafsson, I was like, he's going to lose. Smith is going to lose. Even in the round that he won, I was like, Smith is just going to lose. And then he took his back and choked him. And I was like, what the fuck? It was incredible. But he wears down. He shows that he's tired and everything. But he can really charge forward. And I just think that's what he's going to do with Teixeira. I think he's going to out-grapple him at some point.
I got Anthony Smith knockout.
Knockout. Yeah, he did. He defeated Rashad Evans and who else with knockout before he fought Jones. I'll look at it real quick.
I know he defeated Rashad.
Huh?
I know he knocked out Rashad.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he definitely knocked out Rashad Evans, and I was kind of bummed about that because I like Rashad, but it was good enough for Anthony, and then he went on to not do terrific against John Jones.
Let's put it nicely.
Yeah, it was Shogun Rua. Okay, he beats Hector Lombard back in 2017, and then in 2018 he beat Rashad Evans, Shogun Rua, and then Volkan Ozdemir. Then moved his way to the title fight that he got,
Mm-hmm.
where he handily got destroyed for 5 fucking solid rounds. But he took it like a champ and came back strong. I just don't see him losing to Glover. I don't know.
No, I don't either.
Yeah.
Up next, we have the May 16th event. Prelims. There's only one fight on these prelims that I think is interesting.
So boy.
The Slap Man, Kevin
Slap
Holland.
Man.
Slap Man.
Holland.
Can't wait.
Put me in the game, baby. Some of the best words in the octagon. Barely anybody knows him, but he's one of my favorite talkers.
He's the best.
Um,
He's constantly talking shit to people while fighting them. He's talking shit to Thiago Santos while fighting him.
If I could just gush. Yeah, Thiago Santos somebody backed out on that fight, right? Somebody couldn't fight, and then Kevin Holland was the last minute stand-in.
I think so, yeah.
Kevin Holland, nobody knew him. He was super new in the UFC, and then he fights Thiago fucking Santos, otherwise known as the Mauling Bear. And then for, 3 rounds, I think?
Yeah, 3 rounds.
I just say Mauling Bear because Thiago Santos just destroys people.
Yeah, but he's got a hammer on his chest.
Yeah, and he fucking hits him and shit. It's insane. He just mauls people.
I thought it was weird that you called him the Mauling Bear when he's got a fucking hammer on his chest.
Isn't
his nickname like the Hammer?
I don't fucking know. I've just seen him
Milner
on people, and he just fucking destroys them. He implies so much fucking ground pressure, and he just keeps hitting people. But when he fought Kevin Holland, he couldn't put him away to save his fucking life. And Kevin Holland was talking shit in his ear the whole time, like he's fucking Muhammad Ali or some shit. It's incredible. And I was like, we're going to watch a man get destroyed by Thiago Santos. And then he didn't. And I had this huge amount of respect for Kevin Holland coming in late on a fight and taking on what is one of the most intimidating dudes in the division at that time.
Oh, yeah.
And just talking shit in his ear and just going back and forth and never getting put away for anything. Yeah. He had a controversial decision that I still think he won after that. And then he fought... I really got to look this up. Where was that fight? With Thiago Santos. That was in 2018. He then submitted John Phillips. We don't know him. That was the Ngannou versus Blades card. The one that we were talking about earlier.
The one that we stayed up till fucking 7 a.m. to watch.
Yeah.
That was great.
He then beat Alessio Di Chirico for the middleweight, but then he lost to Brendan Allen, a rising star from the Contender Series. So I'm excited to see another fight of his.
You want to get slapped by the slap man?
I want to watch him talk shit. I'm so excited to hear what he has to say. But just before that, there's one more on this fight, the preliminary card, Dontel Mays. I've been watching him for a while before he was in the UFC. He's heavy-handed. He has a good mix of boxing and his wrestling.
The dude he's fighting, his name is so long, it's not even showing me his full name.
Rodrigo Nascimento Ferreira. Not the longest, but there's a fuck ton of letters in those names. Dontel Mays, Karamu Usman's older brother, Muhammad Usman, is a great heavyweight outside of the UFC. He does a lot of fights, and he lost a very razor-thin decision, in my opinion, to Dontel Mays before Dontel came into the Contender Series. So he's an interesting watch at heavyweight right now. He recently lost to the dark horse of the division, fucking Cyril Gane. Yeah, that is a very interesting fight for who was going to be placed into the top 15 of the heavyweights. So that was a pivotal moment, but Cyril Gane is a masterclass kickboxer. He has a bunch of marks in his kickboxing. So Dontel Mays is one to watch out for the future of the division. That's the only other guy on the preliminary.
We move to the main card. First fight at featherweight, Song Yadong
My
versus
favorite name.
Marlon Vera.
Song Yadong.
I got
I have
Song.
nothing to say about that fight.
I don't know how either. I'm picking Song.
Yeah.
Next up, middleweight Eric Anders. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that name. Jocko.
Christoph.
That's
Yeah.
Christoph.
Yeah. Christoph.
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 Jocko.
Boy, does it not look like that, but I've heard him say it, so it's all. Christoph Jocko is coming off of one of the most boring fights I think I've ever seen. So, not to talk shit. I mean, he's a good enough middleweight. He's a great fighter, but he came up against another dude. Where is he? Yeah, Marc-Andre Barriault, and both of them just treated it like a clinch on the cage fucking fight. It seemed like they didn't know they could do anything else. It was an entire fight of them trying to outclinch each other on the cage. It made for one of the most boring fights. I'm sure it taxed them physically. I'm sure it was really technical.
That sounds super exciting.
It was incredibly boring. It was painful to watch, mostly because I had told you, I was like, I don't see a lot from Jotko, so I'm really interested to see what he has to do with the rest of the division. And then we watched him just painstakingly eke out a decision in a very inactive fight. I was like, okay, I'm not interested anymore. I don't care. He, however, is fighting Eric Anders, a middleweight that I do like. I'm glad Eric's going back down to middleweight because a few interesting.
Do you think he's better there?
It's hard to say.
I think he's good at both. I like the way he just he's able to flex in between them. I think that's really good.
Right. I'm always a huge fan of the middleweight division. I like stuff in it with a bunch of good, interesting characters. I thought when Santos moved up, I was like, I'm bummed that he's not in the middleweight, but it makes sense because he's a huge guy. And then Anders did make a move up to fight Khalil Roundtree. And I was bummed about that too. But now that I know that he's back here and he can fluctuate, I think that's real nice.
And he's Crimson Tide champion, baby.
Yeah.
You know nothing about that, but that's
no.
fine.
I don't know. I've never heard that word before in my life.
It's Alabama football.
Hell yeah, dude. Sports.
Yeah, sports.
I don't know. Fuck ass about.
You have
football.
dumb brain because you like getting punched in the head.
I don't even know how football is played. I know like most of the basics.
It's not that complicated.
You got to get the ball to the other side.
You get it.
Yeah, that's kind of it. But yeah, sorry, go on.
No, you.
Okay, I'm excited about that. I think Eric Anders, he'll need to keep Christoph off of him because while I think Christoph's clinch work is boring, it's incredibly powerful. Is the ability to hold on to people and wear them out. So I hope he's not going to be able to do that to Eric, but I know Eric is going to want to stand and box a lot more.
Yeah.
That being said, I think Eric is going to keep tagging him and outboxing him. It's either going to be like some TKO in the third round or probably just a decision. I'll probably say it's an easy unanimous decision for Eric.
Yeah, I got Anders.
Yeah.
Up next, featherweight. Is it Dan Ige or
I think Ige, yeah. I think it's Ige.
Ige.
EJ.
EJ. I think it does have an accent.
It might.
It's Ige. It's fucking Ige.
Is it Ige?
Yeah, I'm fucking stupid.
Yeah, Dan Ige.
Dan Ige versus Edson fucking Barboza.
Yeah. How do you feel about that one?
Ige's last fight, he won by submission, I believe. Yeah, that was a pretty good fight, but I don't think he can take Barboza's fucking body and leg kicks.
Yeah. Yeah, Edson Barboza's gonna beat like most people in that division on the feet. But
yeah,
it's interesting as at a featherweight. It's interesting to see Barboza go to featherweight.
I didn't even think of that when I said that. Yeah.
It's listed as a featherweight fight.
Yeah, it's at featherweight. Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, but there's a couple of good strikers there. But the only one I'm interested in seeing Barboza fight with his striking is Max Holloway. You know what I mean? Because that'll be an interesting striking match. Not to overshadow Dan Ige, because we don't even know how Edson's going to do at such a low weight.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Edson Barboza has incredible lightning fast body and leg kicks. So
I got Barboza.
yeah, I don't really have a stake in that fight. If I had to, I'd pick Barboza.
Yeah, you got to pick. That's what we're doing here. That's what the show
I
is.
have to pick Barboza. We just skipped like 6 fights on the prelims. What are you talking about?
It doesn't matter. We're only going to pick the ones that we want to pick.
Those fighters don't count.
And if one of us picks, both of us have to pick.
Yeah.
That's how it makes it fair. That's how we make the records even.
Right. That being said, we're not going to make a pick for the next one. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm good with that. You don't have
Okay.
to pick the next one.
Women's
Next one,
strawweight.
women's strawweight. Claudia Gadelha versus Angela Hill.
That's crazy. Moving on.
I think they're both probably good people and probably good fighters,
They're good fighters.
but
Just not interested.
it's just because if you're not at the top of women's strawweight, it's a boring fucking fight.
Yeah, very unfortunate.
Most of the time.
Right. Not to talk a bunch of shit. I know it's sensitive issue, but like, this is unspoken. I mean, there's nobody, unless you're at the top of the division, nobody's really paying attention.
Yeah.
Angela Hill, Wall, and Claudia, interesting fighters in the division. They still don't have the most interesting fights we've ever seen. Same thing with Jocto.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they have one interesting fight that I've seen.
It's like I'm just not interested in the way that they fight. So maybe it'll be good. Maybe one of them throws a 360 tornado kick knockout. Maybe it's the best knockout in history. I don't think so, but we'll have to see.
God damn. Yeah. Main event. Are we picking the co-main? You want to skip that pick?
Yeah, we'll skip it after you got on my ass about skipping picks.
That's because I had picked one.
I know. It's fine.
So I was asking if we were picking or not. Next, main event. Alistair Overeem and the boy Walt Harris.
Yeah.
He's
Pretty
back.
sure.
He's finally back.
Yeah. This is an interesting one.
Walt Harris has kind of got a win, doesn't he?
Yeah. Walt Harris has been winning in particularly violent and big fashion for his last few fights.
Mm-hmm.
He's incredibly athletic for a heavyweight, and he comes forward and he really puts the pressure on you, and everything hits. If it hits you, it's significant. If it doesn't hit you, it's getting followed up with something.
Yeah.
He's absolutely up in your shit moving forward. So, very unfortunately, I love Alistair Overeem very much. He's a veteran of the sport. I'm looking at his record. It's 45, 18, and 0. That is an incredible amount of fights for a fighter.
That's insane.
And Overeem is an incredibly veteran kickboxer. His striking game is rounded, but I think he's getting hit. And once he gets hit, he's going to get hit again, and he's going to get hit with everything in the kitchen sink.
Yeah.
At some point, I just see it happening. So I got Walt Harris. I can't say what round now. I'd imagine that Overeem could hold out for a bit, but not forever.
I'll go third round KO Walt Harris.
Okay. I'd go late second round. Because I do believe... let me try to just... In case I'm saying stupid shit, because his last few fights... He just started in 2017. Yeah, he has lost to Mark Godbeer. I remember that one. He took a last-minute fight to Fabricio Werdum. And that put him on the map for me, because I was like, big respect, because he fought him, but then, like, I do believe it. Yeah, round 1, 1:05 into the...
He was instantly submitted.
But he tapped immediately. He didn't fight it or anything, because he knew what was up. It's fucking Werdum.
Yeah.
It's over as it starts, so it's like, it was a good call by him. He went on to beat Cyril Asker. TKO round 1. 1:44 into it. He went on to beat Daniel Spitz, KO TKO round 4, very end of it, 4:59 into it. He then went on to beat Sergey Spivak, KO TKO round 1. And then he went on to beat Alexei Olenek, KO TKO round 1. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he is on people's shit. So I would say about round 2 for Alistair Overeem, late round 2-ish, KO TKO. However they decide to rule what happens. It might be a straight up KO, because the way he's been hitting people in his last fights, that's a lot for Overeem to get hit with.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah. Harris, late round 2 for me, KO and or TKO. I guess it wouldn't be and. That was stupid. Ignore me. Yeah. Those are the next few fights. I'm incredibly excited for this Saturday and then next week for it.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. Hopefully, nothing happens that
suck. Don't you
takes
dare.
it away.
You shut up, you.
I'm not gonna do it.
I know. It's incredible. I know, but it's just like fucking knock on wood. It's gonna fucking bad juju us.
It wasn't wood at all. It's incredible plastic.
A door next to you, but you might freak your dog out.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. It's been peaceful.
Now that we've got those out of the way, I do have a couple of things I would like to say. That's just been happening recently. So Dana White came out and said that they are looking for the Usman and Masvidal title fight is off for whatever fucking reason. And most people already assume they know the reason. And I want to be hesitant on it, but I think that it might be possible too, and it would be very interesting. And it's the possibility of Masvidal versus McGregor for the BMF belt on Fight Island. As ridiculous as all of that sounds,
why would that be on Fight Island?
I think that's just what people wanted. That's what people have been saying. That's what people have been theorizing, and it's super possible. I guess it might be the first one to debut the island. I don't know which one debuts the island of these, which event, even if they have one yet. They've secured the island, right? They don't have any events set for it though, right?
I guess, I don't know. Yeah, Dana White said they secured an island. They're building infrastructure.
Yeah, because the 3 fight nights that we just went over are all at the Jacksonville Arena.
Yeah.
So yeah, Masvidal versus McGregor. I can only imagine welterweight. I would be fucking incredibly surprised if it wasn't. BMF title. How do you feel?
A new BMF title?
No, the same one probably. Because Masvidal
that's a one-time thing. They're not redoing the BMF.
Okay, so no BMF title at
No.
all. I thought that was the fucking deal, so they could have a fucking main event night again without having a title fight.
Definitely not.
Well, Masvidal versus McGregor, 170.
I got Masvidal.
Really?
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's been on a tear too. I think it's out of all the fights that can be made. To me, that's one of the most interesting ones from a fan perspective, from a business perspective. That's gonna draw everybody, dude. Fucking the baddest motherfucker belt, just between Diaz and Masvidal. That was huge. Everybody wanted to see those two go at it.
Yeah.
You know, Masvidal is a huge draw. Masvidal versus McGregor is astounding. I would say it would break, pay-per-view sales, but probably wouldn't because most people stream now.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's just like I don't think you can break those pay-per-view sales anymore, just because everybody streams. Everybody has streaming sites.
Mm-hmm.
But that's gonna get everybody's attention. That'll be a fun one, regardless.
Yeah, I mean, I'd watch it.
I'd watch the fuck out of it. I'd be hyped. I think they'll go at each other. Masvidal has a great mindset for fighting, as we've talked about. McGregor seems like he's getting a very similar mindset. He's very forward heavy. At least what we saw, the very short amount that we saw with Cerrone, he fucking came forward. As short as that fight was, he just laid on the pressure immediately and came forward on him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a very interesting game plan to have against Masvidal, who is terrific about fighting backwards, both forward and backwards. He can fight backwards and hit you at angles when you're coming forward. So that's a hard one for me to call. I have no idea.
A big Masvidal on that one.
Most likely Masvidal. Connor still has power at 170. I won't ever take away from Connor's left hand.
Yeah.
I know other people want to, but I don't think he can. But he's got to be really dynamic now because everybody knows about Connor's left hand.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got to be incredibly dynamic about how he throws it down the pipe, like we saw with Cowboy. Connor came in, he threw his left hand as hard as he could, and Cowboy was 3 feet below it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's the first thing he saw coming. So he's got to find a dynamicism with how he's going to throw that hand from now on. If he doesn't figure that out, it's going to absolutely be Masvidal because Connor is going to throw his hand, he's going to come forward, and Masvidal is going to get off the line, and he's going to hit him 2 or 3 times, going backwards. And it's going to happen over and over again until Connor loses.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Masvidal, I couldn't. And we don't know that this fight's happening, so this is just...
This is all speculation.
Yeah, that's just how I see the fight going as of now. Yeah, that was... As far as MMA, that was one of the last things I had.
We got Woodley versus Gilbert Burns, May 23rd.
Yeah,
I think it is.
Interesting one. Gilbert Burns is on a tear.
I'm going to pick Woodley for that fight. When it becomes official, I'll pick that one.
Yeah, that's a good one to come back on. I keep getting excited to see T. Woodley come and fight big fights, and then they get called off, or something happens that will go off from a potential fight. So I was really excited to see Leon Edwards and Woodley. So,
and then not anymore.
I'm looking at UFC Fight Night Saskatoon, Saturday, June 20th, and the third fight on it is heavyweight Curtis Blades and Alexander Volkov.
That'll be canceled.
Huh?
That'll be canceled.
That's the one that's canceled? All right. I know some of the events are still lined up, but I don't know which ones are canceled and which ones aren't.
They're all probably going to get canceled for the most part, or just moved around.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
Volkov is out of Russia, so he's not going to be able to come over.
That might end up happening. But yeah. If that fight happens, I got Curtis Blades.
That'd be
He's
good.
been showing incredible competency on his feet with his boxing, with his distancing, and then he's always been great with his grappling. So,
yeah,
that'll
be a good fight.
Yeah.
What time are we at?
We are at 1 hour and 17 minutes.
That's way longer than I thought we were going to go.
2.
Well, oh my God, I just lost foot. There we go. Back in focus.
I keep seeing it.
Well, that does it for this show, I think.
Yeah.
We're probably all wrong on everything we said.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, expected.
Don't place your bets on what we said. Or anything. I don't want to be held reliable or accountable for that shit. And we will see you on the next pay-per-view event.
See you
Bye,
next
y'all.
time. Recording failed.